Hello everyone. Got a little project on the go here. I thought I might talk you through it while I'm on because there's not too many videos about it. So what's going on? This is my 2014 Multistrada Pikes Peak. I've got a big problem at the moment with this fork seal on the right leg. It's absolutely gushing out the oil. Possibly a few too many heavy landings. Which is my own fault, but never mind. This is coming up for needing a Desmo service in another 400 miles. But I obviously won't be able to ride those miles until I sort this fork seal out, because it is, like I say, it's bad. It's only the right hand side which is sort of leaking at the moment, so I've been having a look and I've decided to tackle the job myself, because the right hand fork, as you can see here, is the non-clever fork, so I should be able to get that out without removing all the front end of the bike and the fuel tank, etc., which you do have to remove if you're going for the left hand side. So I've just jumped ahead a little bit, but what I've done here so far, I've removed this front mudguard, which is a bit fiddly to get off actually. The cables route underneath this, and they're clipped in these clips here, so you need to be a little bit patient when you're taking it off to make sure you don't pull on any cables or break anything off, so just be patient with it. So take that off. I've removed the caliper on that side, just stuck it up there with a cable tie so it's not straining on the hose. I'm going to take this side off and do the same thing. So another update, that's the two brake calipers off and just supported there with some cable ties out of the way. We've managed to remove the front wheel, so that's out. I've measured the amount of fork up above this point, and there's 320 millimeters, and I've got that distance clear below this leg, so I should be able to get it out without lifting the bike up anymore. That's the theory anyway, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to go up against the underside of the triple clamp, and I'm going to go for the bottom edge of the fork lower, which I'll make that 236. Check it on the other side. Right there at the top, and that's 236. So as you can see, I've got the fork in the vise there. I didn't buy the special tool that clamps it in the jaws. I went for a custom made couple of bits of wood and some electrical tape just to protect the outer fork. Okay, so we're all set up. I'll get some tools and I'll show you the things we've had delivered. We've got some fork oil. It'll focus. There she is. First tool is the fork cap tool. It's plastic, so it won't mark the aluminium, and I think it's 10.50mm, and that'll take the top of the fork off. I've also bought a fork seal driver. I'm obviously going to need one of those. I know there's ways you could do it without using a proper fork driver, but I don't want to mess about. If I've got the right tools, I'll have the tools for life, and the next time I come to do this job on a different machine, then I've got the tools. So yeah, no point messing about. Just spend a bit of money and then I've got the tools forever then. So we go. That's that. What else? 48mm fork seal bullet. So this goes over the top of the inner tube. Allows you to slide the seals on. Is that in focus? Allows you to slide the seals on over the groove for the top bushing, and then down onto the stanchion without ripping or damaging the seal. Got some red rubber grease, and then we have, courtesy of Moto Rapido, we have got fork rebuild kits. So I'll empty that out and show you what's in there. That's the whole lot: the bushings, the oil seal, the dust seal. There's one other tool that I forgot to mention. That's this, which is a spring compressor. So you'll see where that comes in a minute. So I've got myself set up here in the garage. I've got hold of the workshop manual. So I'm going to. I've read through this very carefully. Like I say, I've never done a fork seal change before. It's new to me, but I understand the inner workings of the fork. I know what's in there. I know what I expect to find. So yeah, let's follow the procedure, go slow and steady, and then yeah, do a nice job. So step one, it's 19mm. Lovely. So we have to back it off fully anti-clockwise, and we have to make a note of how many clicks of preload there are, so that when we put it back together we can restore the spring preload to how it was. So, oh, you are joking. So I don't know if you saw that, but I went to back this nut off, the spring preload adjuster, and I think it was already at the stop because it started to unwind the top cap, which is there's no spring preload on there whatsoever. It's interesting. So now you can see that whole top cap's moving. Right, so we use this tool since we paid a lot of money for it. A little bit of pressure behind there. So we need to compress the spring and then get to the locking nut, which is underneath the top cap, and then we can take the top cap away and then start to disassemble this string. So let's position this. What I might actually do down here, so I'm not fighting against it, is tie up a stanchion here, tie up the lower part, so it's up like this. I'm going to get a bit of string. There's a bit of string just here, look. Okay, so I'll go through the bottom of the leg. You see that? Through there. Lift it up. Just tie it off through the vice. Just so I'm not fighting against it. Okay. That's that. 19mm spanner for the lock nut. we go. That's top cap. Okay, done with that. So we've got the spacer tube, we've got a plastic cup and a washer, and then we've got the spring. Spring's coming out. Alright, that's it. Then we just got to turn it upside down and drain the fluid out. So I bet. Okay, so there's our old fork oil. As you can see, it's looking pretty horrible. Here is our little area of parts. So we have the top cap, spacer tube, cup for the bottom of the spacer tube, washer at the top of the spring. We had the spring, and then we had this little piece which came like that. Job is to separate the two tubes. So to do that, we need to take the retaining clip off the dust seal. Get rid of this piece of string. Don't need that anymore. So, dust seal clip, dust seal. Now, we've got just in there, you see that circlip needs to come out. So, we'll get a small screwdriver in there. Okay, got it. So, there's our circlip. It wants a little bit wider. Just like that. So we can see the lower part of the fork been removed. So I think the first thing we will do is remove all the old stuff from this lower leg, and then we'll lay it all out on the leg so we can see what's what. So we're going to take the upper bushing off first. Check over, good clean up. Lower tube. Check it for any damage, like I say. And then we'll start putting things back together. I've got to say the lower actually looks pretty good. I mean, I certainly can't see any damage on there. So what I'll do first is just open out this bag of parts and make sure we've got everything before we start. Okay then, alright, let's go. So we've got our bullet installed. We need the grease. Bit of rubber grease. And then we'll put everything back on in the reverse order that it came off. So this is our dust seal. Okay, over the bullet and onto the fork. Okay. Next we have the circlip. Next we have the new oil seal. Make sure it goes the right way round, which is, this is the side that holds all the oil in, and this is the side that faces outside, the outside world. Then onto the fork it goes, make sure it's the right way around. I get a bit of fork oil involved here to help it slide on. Last thing you want is to damage the seal on this, because that defeats the objective in the job. So pour a small amount of that on there. Things going. Okay. Okay, that's our new oil seal in position. Next up we've got our washer. Okay. Next we have our sliding bushing. Just going to put a bit of fork oil on there. Slide that on. Lovely. Now we've got our upper bushing. Put that back into its groove. The same way we took it off. Okay. Okay. Well, that's the lower assembled. So the next step is to put the two tubes together. Here's one I made earlier. This is the outer tube, which I have cleaned out already. Sent a rag down there on a stick. Give it a good clean out, but I'm going to just double check the seat for the oil seal. Make sure that's absolutely immaculate. Just take a bit of contact cleaner in there. And then I'm going to slide the tubes together. Sorry you can't see this very well. Now that's done, before I do anything else, I'm going to go and double check the manual, make sure I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm confident I've got this right, but I want to double check before I go any further. The next step is to drive the oil seal down into its seat. So I'll install the oil seal driver onto the lower. Free up a bit of space. And we take the tool, assemble it around the lower leg, the driving tool. That doesn't seem like a very nice fit, so I'm going to stop there and have a look at what's going on. Small problem. So it turns out, I don't know if I've ordered wrong or they've sent the wrong thing. This is a 48mm fork and that driver goes up to 45mm. So I've got a problem here, which I'm going to have to solve. Right, back to you in a minute. Well, it was all going so well, but yeah, how annoying is that? This driver's wrong. It's the wrong size, it's too small. I'm going to have a look now and see if I can modify it, make it slightly bigger. Yeah. Not sure what I'll do now. Okay, I'm going to get experimental. So, for whatever reason, I got the wrong size seal driver. I thought I'd ordered the right size. I didn't check it when it arrived, but yeah, it's too small. So if I try and use that, I'm going to damage my fork leg. Now I have seen a method on YouTube that involves making a plug of tape around the stanchion. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to get some electrical tape. I'm going to wrap it round and round and round the lower leg. This part of the seal driver fits okay, and that's going to work. So I'm going to try and use the plug of tape, drive it against this part of the tool, and hopefully I can seat the oil seal like that. If that doesn't work, I'm going to have to order a new driver or try and make something. So yeah, wish me luck. Okay, got some electrical tape. Just going to go for that new method, I think. Good. Yes. Now I'm only comfortable trying this because I've actually got this part of the seal driving tool, because the edges of these little plastic feet are chamfered. If I was to just smash this big run of tape down against the oil seal, basically I don't want to hit this lip of the oil seal where the spring clip is, so I would risk damaging it. But I think I'm confident that as I've got this part of the driver on here, I don't think I can do too much damage using this tape method. That's if it works. That's just me guessing also. I might be completely wrong, and I might have to go looking for someone who can help me. Right, so I've got my seal, the tool, and my plug of tape. So here goes nothing. Oh. Do you know what? Do you know what? I think that might have done it, you know. Okay, so by some small miracle, I think we now have, if this will focus, have our oil seal seated in there. So next step is the circlip. Alright, what I've decided to do is give this another going over. I want to make sure that seal is absolutely home in its seat, because if I don't, all this will be potentially futile. So I'm going to give it another go with this seal driver. Okay, so I've had a little look down here. The seal looks flush all the way around, so I'm happy that it's home and dry. Its new position. So I'm going to get rid of all this tape. I'm going to install the circlip, install the dust seal, and then we can go ahead and put the innards back inside. Alright, that's all the tape away. Give that a clean up with some contact cleaner. Get rid of any residue. Alright, now we'll go for this clip, I think. We've got the circlip there, sitting in its seat all the way around. That's all good. So now we will install the dust boot. Alright. So now I think we can go back to the vise. Okay, so we've got the newly assembled upper and lower legs in the vise. I've tied the bottom leg up so it doesn't drop out in case I lose it. I've got the rod off with it. Oh man. I get that? Yes. Oh, I thought I'd have to take that off, but I'll just secure the rod up like that. We'll need that at the top. Now we'll start putting things back together. First things first, we had this washer. Just having a look down there, check it's in the proper position, which it is. Hold on. Now, I need to put the oil in before I put these parts in. I seem to recall. So I'll take that out and I will fill it with the required amount of oil, which is 660 cc's. Okay, I decided against using the wife's Pyrex jug, so I've got my oil change measuring thing. I've just given it a good clean out, so now I'm going to measure out 660 cc's plus or minus 5. Okay, there's 250 cc's. And that down the hatch. Measure another 250. And it goes. That's 500 in there. So that's bang on the spec for the oil. 660 cc's going in. Okay, Lock that up there, and I'll go and get the rest of the parts for refitting. Okay, still with us? We've got the top cap, we'll need that. Put that there. Get that out of the way. So the order is spring in first, and this washer, and this seat for the spring spacer, then the spring, then the top cap. So spring in first. This was the tricky bit. Don't want to drop this rod if I can help it. Yep. Nearly there. Nearly there. This is where I drop it. Ta-da! Look at that. Right. Then it's washer. And this little contraption. How am I supposed to keep that up in the air? If I tie that up a bit more. Oh, shit. Right. So, somehow, got to get this arrangement on here. Okay. Okay. Get the spanner on. Come on. Nearly. Fuck. I think that's going to go, you know. I think I'm going to get that without the little spring compressor. So tying up the lower part of the fork is helping me a lot because it's really reduced the amount of distance I have to go with the spring. So what I'm going to do is get all this in place. This is like having another pair of hands, and I hold on to that, compress the spring and try and get the spanner on before I lose it. Yes! Whew. Okay, see that? So, next bit is top cap. Top cap goes on. Nips together. Just going to clean up those threads on that top cap. Bit of contact cleaner. A bit of crap in there. Clean that off. Okay, right. Now I'm going to release the lower part of the leg. This should drop down. I should be able to tighten up the top cap, and then we should be done. Okay, torque wrench time. So we're going for 20 Newton meters according to the manual. 20. Okay, the last step would be to return the spring preload adjuster to where it was, and there was actually no spring preload on the spring whatsoever, which I'm not sure that's ideal. I think it might be helpful to actually have a couple of turns on that, but I'm going to have to do some research, and I can play about with that once it's back in the bike. So I'm going to take it out of the vise now, check there's no leaks with the new seal, and then I can start putting it back in the bike. Sorry about that. That wasn't too bad in the end. Hopefully I've got everything in the right order and I haven't managed to lose anything or damage anything in the process, because these are very expensive. So, right, thanks for watching. So there we have it. One freshly reassembled fork, right hand fork leg, Multistrada 1200. I've given it a little pump up and down. There's no leaks apparent, which is great. So I think we can call that mission successful. Let's put it back in the bike. Cool.